Struggling to make sales on Etsy? You might be thinking the market is way too crowded. But you know what? I've got people message me saying that they've managed to get their first sales within a few weeks of opening their shop. That proves it's possible. The key is having the right strategy. And in this video, I am going to break down exactly what you need to do. After selling digital products on Etsy for years and growing my shop to 6 figures, plus watching friends and family and even my viewers build their own shops, I've noticed a clear pattern. The same mistakes keep showing up. And those mistakes are often the reason people struggle to get sales. I'm going to share those patterns with you so you can avoid doing them. The first mistake I see over and over again is picking the wrong products to sell. Let me tell you a little secret. Not all digital products are created equal. Here's where most beginners go wrong. They assume they can just create whatever they feel like creating and it'll fly off the shelves. But that's not a strategy. That's a gamble. The truth is, some products have strong demand while others barely move. So if your shop isn't making sales, it might be time to ask yourself, am I actually offering products people want to buy? One of the best ways to answer that question is by validating your product idea with a research tool like PROFITTREE. Nothing proves demand better than revenue. To me, revenue is the ultimate benchmark of whether a product is worth selling, because where there's money, there's demand. The problem is Etsy itself doesn't show you how much revenue products are making. That's exactly where PROFITTREE comes in. PROFITTREE gives you real sales data directly from Etsy. For example, the other day I was researching the education niche and found a preschool curriculum worksheet that's made over $50,000 in revenue and still pulls in around $3,500 a month. The listing is just a year old, which means it's still relatively new, but already generating amazing results. That's a product with a proven demand. Here's another one. A Doctrine Covenants lesson plan that's already made $16,000 in its first year. Who would have thought something like that could sell so well? And because it's in such a niche industry, competition is low, which means there's still plenty of room for new sellers to come in. All of this data is available thanks to PROFITTREE, so instead of guessing and hoping your product sells, you can rely on actual numbers to guide you, saving you time, energy, and frustration. The best part, you can get access to everything for a one-time payment of $67, no monthly fees, no ongoing subscriptions. It's one of the most affordable research tools I've ever come across. If you want to snag the lifetime deal, check out my link below, but hurry because it won't be available for long. I get a lot of messages from sellers who tell me, I've listed 2 or 3 products, but I'm not getting any sales. And honestly, that doesn't surprise me. You see, with only a few listings, your shop just doesn't have enough chances to get discovered. Think of it this way. Every product you create is another door for customers to find you. More products equals more chances to make a sale. Every listing teaches you something new. You'll start to see which designs people click on, which ones bring in views, and which ones actually convert into sales. That kind of data only comes when you've created a lot of products. This is why I always tell my friends who are also selling digital products, you can't really judge your shop's performance until you hit at least 100 listings. Your main goal in the beginning isn't to make a huge amount of sales, it's simply to create. Focus on getting products out there. If you get to 100 listings and still aren't seeing results, that's the time to pause, diagnose, and recalibrate. But until then, the best thing you can do is to keep creating. Because the more listings you have, the higher your chances of landing a sale. It's really just probability. 3 listings might give you a tiny chance, but multiply that by 100 and your odds go way up. So if your shop feels stuck right now, the solution might be simple. Make more products. Another common mistake I see is trying to sell in too many niches at once. You know, I get it. When you're just starting, you want to test everything and see what sticks. But here's the problem. When your shop is all over the place, weddings, business, fitness, planners, kids, printables, it confuses both Etsy's algorithm and your customers. Etsy works best when it knows who to recommend your shop to. If your products are scattered across different audiences, Etsy doesn't know how to categorize you. On the flip side, when you focus on one niche, Etsy recognizes your shop as an authority in that space, which helps you rank better and reach the right buyers. It's the same for your customers. Someone shopping for wedding invitations isn't going to care that you also sell fitness trackers. But if your shop is dedicated to weddings, from invitations to seating charts to welcome signs, suddenly you look like the perfect place to buy from. So my advice, Pick one niche to start. Build it up with a solid collection of products, then expand later if you want to. But in the beginning, staying focused gives you a much higher chance of success. One of the biggest reasons shops don't get sales is simple. They're not using the right keywords. At the end of the day, Etsy is a search engine. If your listings don't match the words buyers are actually typing in, your products won't even show up, no matter how good they are. Here's the mistake I see most often. Beginners either use fake titles like cute template or they stuff their titles with random irrelevant keywords. Neither of those strategies work. Instead, you have to think like your customer. What exactly would they type in the search bar? For example, instead of just saying social media template, you'd be much better off with something specific like Instagram story template for coaches or real estate Instagram post template. The more specific and relevant you are, the easier it is for the right buyers to find you. Now, if you're stuck on figuring out which keywords to use, PROFITTREE can help with this as well. Not only does it show you which products are generating revenue, but it also reveals the exact keyword sellers are using in their titles to drive traffic to those listings. That means you can see exactly how people are finding products on Etsy, and you can use those same proven keywords in your own shop. This way, you're not guessing or throwing random words into your titles. You're using real data to guide your keyword strategy, which puts you miles ahead of most beginners. Another huge mistake I see is not putting enough effort into product photos. Remember, Etsy is a visual marketplace. Your product photo is the very first impression a buyer has of your shop. If it doesn't catch their attention right away, they'll just keep scrolling, even if your product is amazing. Think of it like this. Your photo is your billboard on Etsy. It has to make someone stop mid-scroll and think, that's exactly what I need. You know, it's the same idea as YouTube thumbnails. No matter how great the video is, if the thumbnail doesn't get someone to click, they'll never watch it. On Etsy, if your main product photo isn't scroll stopping, people won't even click into your listing to learn more. And if they don't click, they definitely won't buy. You gotta remember, people can't physically touch or flip through your product because it's digital. The photo has to do all the selling. If your photos aren't scroll stopping, even the best keyword strategy in the world won't help. The good news is creating strong product photos is a skill you can learn. In fact, I have a video on my channel where I go in depth about how to transform your product photos into ones that actually sell. So check that out if you want to see real examples. Bottom line, if your photos don't stop someone mid-scroll, nothing else matters. Not your keywords, not your price, not your product. Nail your photos and you'll finally get people to click and buy. Another mistake I see is when products don't really bring anything new to the table. On Etsy, buyers have so many options. If your product looks exactly like everything else out there, it can be hard to convince someone to choose yours. Now, that doesn't mean you have to reinvent the wheel or come up with something the world has never seen before. It simply means you need to put your own spin on things. That could be creating a unique design or adding extra value that others aren't including, or even just presenting your product in a way that feels more appealing. At the end of the day, buyers want a reason to pick your product. If you can show them how your version solves their problem better, looks more polished, or feels more complete, you're already standing out from the competition. Another mistake I see is relying only on Etsy to bring you sales. Yes, Etsy has built-in traffic, but you can't just upload your products and wait for the algorithm to do all the work. If you're not actively marketing your shop, you're leaving money on the table. Think about it. When you drive your own traffic through Pinterest or social media, you're not just depending on Etsy search results. You're creating multiple entry points for people to find your shop. The more eyes on your product, the higher your chances of making sales. And marketing doesn't even have to be complicated. Even something as simple as posting your products on Pinterest can make a huge difference. I actually have a tutorial on my channel if you want to learn more about that. Bottom line is, every little marketing effort you make outside of Etsy compounds over time. So don't fall into the trap of list it and forget it. If you want to grow, you need to get your products in front of as many people as possible. Etsy gives you the platform, but marketing is what gives you momentum. So those are the main mistakes I see most often on Etsy, and if you're making some of them right now, the good news is they can all be fixed. Once you start making those adjustments, you'll be on your way to consistent sales. And if you want extra help figuring out which products are actually selling and which keywords buyers are searching for, check out PROFITTREE. It's the tool I use to validate my ideas with real Etsy data, so I'm never just guessing. I leave my link below so you can grab it and don't miss out on that $67 lifetime deal while it's still available. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really helps my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!